How are you doing?
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. I'm back. I would say in the New York groove, but that would be a lie. So I'm back in the Arizona groove. It's similar but hotter. So
No, yeah, it's a little more funky than Illinois.
we are so back. We are so
We
back.
are so back, baby. All right, GM, everybody. It's Chef Tony and Dude Lifts, and we are proud to present Ink Tank number 4, the Camp Reunion. In short, Ink Tank is your hub for incubator proposals, doodles, and more. And it has been an extremely busy week in the Doodleverse with the OG holder preview, the official launch at camp, activation in Chicago. We have the HAP finals, new merch line, lore galore. Let's jump right in.
Lore galore. Tell you
Lore
what,
galore.
lore
We need
galore.
more.
More lore galore, please. Um, no, obviously, yeah, it's been super, super busy week for the Doodle, super busy week for us. Like you said, the Hap final. I've got my Hap final box sitting next to me on my desk because even the box is
Dude, I got
elite.
I got HAP and
Oh,
I got Mike.
oh, he's got the foamy mic. That's where that thing went.
I got HAP and I got Mike. They are locked and loaded here. I bless
Nice.
Foamy and bless what is it? SK Lamb.
I do
Best
feel
friends forever.
I do feel like I got two things for the price of one because I got the Hap final, which is upstairs. I have the box, which is downstairs in my office, and the box itself is pretty sweet, just for what it's worth. But yeah, I mean, Tony, have you been on the come down since Chicago? How have you been feeling?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, like you get the post activation blues. I don't know. I've been riding this high pretty hardcore over the past few days.
Nice.
Um, and to be fair, I was so wiped out. And then, like I got in late. And then the next day was my dad's 65th birthday. So it was like, it was like, you're like, oh, you just got in from skydiving. They're like, all right, we're going jet skiing tomorrow. And you're like,
Nice. Nice.
okay, I'll sleep when no sleep for the wicked.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, what just such a fun trip in general. Doodles, regardless, almost like regardless of Doodles, just great trip. Um, yeah, so cool. I'll just say this: if there's anybody in the audience, on stage in spaces, or who's live watching us on YouTube, feel free to comment on YouTube, share your experience as well as join us on stage tonight. Would love to hear how your trip, went as well. If we met you, if we didn't meet you, all the above. We'd just love to hear your experience, or if you FOMOed from afar, you know, tell us what that was like.
I know Dudley was. He was like,
Yeah, tell
it's
us what that
funny,
was like.
like I love how like Dudleyan and Incog are like separate beings,
Oh,
and
don't
he's
tell
like,
him that.
well, he always talks about how Dudleyan like takes trips without him, and he was at Dudleyan was at
Oh,
camp.
that's fair. Fair point. Fair point. He was there.
I love that. It's like so. Oh God, I love the banter. That's lore. That's community lore that we need cooked up.
That's awesome.
We're gonna need to get Daniel Kahn on that. Daniel Kahn, the writing dude. I think we need to make that
Oh,
connection if they haven't already
okay.
um,
Okay.
started building.
That was some alpha that we got from Harold in Chicago. If you're looking to propose something in the future, he said collaborate with other doodles. So that's the alpha.
Yes, and yeah, like because like I guess that's kind of the whole spirit of Web3, right? We were all like, what, 180 of us descended upon Chicago this past week, and we're from all walks of life and all these sorts of things. When would we be able to connect those dots otherwise? I don't know. It would be like I don't know, maybe a restaurant if everyone was like, all right, who's building something, and you like had them at gunpoint, but we were all willingly there. And I think like there's a lot of creative minds and entrepreneurs and stuff, people that are believing in the space. So like you're saying, that's the alpha, working together with other people, because that's where you're going to create original stuff with unconventional like crews and groups and stuff like that.
100%. 100%. Well, I guess just to kind of get into it a little bit, now that Tony, now that you've had a couple days to digest Chicago and everything that happened, what's your kind of overall takeaway? Then we can get into the nitty gritty. But what was your overall takeaway of the trip?
Sure. So I guess like maybe like Doodles itself changed a lot from what, December of 2022 till right now, almost September of 2023. in regards of like the makeup of their team.
Sure.
Changed a ton, right? I mean, like they had Julian, they had Brandon, and I think that was pre Bianca. That was prior to Golden Wolf. They've definitely beefed up a whole lot. And it was a little, I don't know, I guess it was a really long time in between events in comparison, right? I
Sure.
mean, 2022 there was like 3 different events. So, it was definitely a lot of work in the making, but I thought like it was really, really well done. You know what I mean? Like you went there and it wasn't like the stuff felt cheesy or whatever. And it was like the colors were on point, the palette was on point, and it functioned, which
Right.
was pretty cool. Um, it was it was completely different than anything, right? Like it wasn't set up to be a networking event. They were just like, hey, we're gonna launch this thing in 2 days. You guys get to see it first, right? When they call it like the holder preview, like maybe I didn't like grasp what that meant, but they're like, all right, check this out. Like we're gonna be doing this thing. Like we wanted you guys to check it out. So I think it was more so like something we were to be excited about for them. And people like Santan dude, he's been wanting kids merch, right? Like I remember he was doing like baby merch mock-ups and stuff like that. I
Sure.
don't think they had like baby onesies, but I think camp is definitely slated for like families with kids,
Sure.
which was cool. I guess like I don't know. I mean, dude, I was crawling on the ground like through all the tunnels just like a kid, like sliding on the slides. Like I
Sure.
was just like, screw it, right? I was getting into it. Like with the camp counselors, I was like, yeah, dude, I'm jumping around doing my thing. I know some people that were like plus ones are like, all right, this is kind of culty. I was like, okay, you know what? Fine. On the outside, maybe you thought it looked
Hey,
weird.
yeah, you can't spell
Um,
culture without cult, am I
without
right?
cult.
You know?
Yeah, that I swear that like JKB minted that.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, so it was definitely slated towards younger kids because it's like an it's an experiential thing. The whole idea is
Sure.
like, you go there, you go through something with some actors. There are ways to occupy yourself, play games, do like it's like a jungle gym on steroids, right?
Yep.
Mixed with an arcade, incorporating, doodles to character builders. I thought it was really interesting. And ultimately, I think that it's going to be a huge hit. We got to see it happen with kids in our group, and it was like, holy crap, they just understood what to do. And
Yeah.
I was bullish.
Yeah, it's interesting. You kind of led off with saying that you didn't quite grasp the term holder preview, and I can agree with that.
Yep.
I didn't quite grasp that either. I was just like, oh, camp is doodles and it's
Like we're
sick.
going to a doodles
Yeah.
networking event and party, right? Like there was a party at the end. Let's not get that
Hmm.
mixed up. And there was definitely
With
networking
seafood.
vibes, seafood towers, drinks,
Shout out to Mackenzie.
balloons. I was hitting people with balloons like crazy.
That's true. I
Um,
can confirm that.
yeah, you can confirm
Um,
that.
but yeah,
Mushy's birthday.
I do feel like, yeah, the holder preview thing was a little bit lost on me until I showed up. I was like, oh, this is literally opening in 2 days. This is a preview for the holders just to check it out. To be
Mhm.
fair, like now it looked, fit and finished, but Mackenzie was like, oh, this is 75% done. They're going to hang up a few extra things from the ceiling, like things like that. So that's it, to feel that way that it was already done, but there is going to be more is pretty cool. Um, and to your point about who's the target audience, because I think that has been something that's kind of been, if there's been any kind of like FUD or discussion on the timeline about it, it's that, right? It's like, well, this is for kids. So what does it have to do with my bags? Um, and so I think that's the thing that I've kind of been thinking about too. Julian has said repeatedly, like, yeah, this is for families, not just for quote unquote children alone. I will say this too. They mentioned that there's going to be weekly adult nights, or sorry, monthly. My bad. Monthly adult nights, which I think will be really interesting to see what they do. We discussed that maybe they can tune up the quest factor of it a little bit, because ultimately the best way to describe this camp quote unquote activation thing like that, it's almost like 21st century Chuck E. Cheese combined with an escape room, combined with, an arcade, combined with a store, and then sprinkle some like it's like the LaCroix of blockchain a little bit, like collecting
Whoa,
the
whoa. You mean that stuff that's called La Croix? I mean, why do you call it LaCroix?
whatever you want to call it, Topo
Okay, why,
Chico.
where? Okay, so the mineral water of blockchain.
I'll explain what I mean.
Let's unpack that a little bit. What in the world do you mean?
Sure, sure. It looks like we have a request, so maybe we can let them up. But yeah, the mineral sparkling water of blockchain. What I mean by that is currently the camp store is not blockchain enabled, right? But it has the underpinnings of like blockchain collecting in the way that you run around, you make this base doodle. It's the studio, as we all know, but it's just not on
Sure.
chain. Then you make your base doodle, you run around and collect wearables, you add those wearables, you try them on, you get to see that doodle wearing those wearables in different experiences throughout the event. It's just not on chain, quote unquote, yet, right? But all
Mm.
of that data is being recorded. So at any point in the future, when the switch gets flipped, anybody who's been to the camp activation could get an email. It says, "Hey, you attended camp X amount of time ago. You remember you made that doodle? Do you want to take it with you, to this new experience? Do you want to claim it?" Right. And then Flow could use their hybrid custody wallet to generate a
Oh,
wallet for anybody who's ever visited camp. And then they could essentially claim their doodle, claim those wearables. So, and then at some point, potentially you could just start on chain. I mean, or it never has to, like, because you could just, as you leave, it could be put on chain. So that's what I mean. It's the LaCroix of
interesting.
the LaCroix blockchain. Is not on chain currently, but it could be.
So I'm trying to understand this anecdote a little bit more.
Sure.
So what is LaCroix trying to be like? Flavored sparkling
Well, no,
water or?
like as in call blockchain is soda, we'll just say, right? And LaCroix. So
Oh,
that's what I'm saying.
okay, okay.
It's
There you
not the
go.
whole
There you go.
thing, right?
I needed something to compare it to. I was like,
Yeah,
what are you
yeah.
trying to do?
LaCroix, well, there's a joke about LaCroix. It's like if sparkling water had like a truck of strawberries drive by it and just the essence kind of wafted on it. Like that's a blockchain just kind of like passed over camp and just kind of wafted on top of it, right? Um,
I see what you're saying.
that's
Yeah,
what I'm
you know
getting at.
what? To be fair, like I didn't really, at least when I was present there, I wasn't thinking like, all right, is this on chain? Like, you know what I'm saying? Um, I do wish I could get those freaking wearables though. Dude, they were so dope.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's kind of the cool part is that it's on the infrastructure of the studio. It's Doodles wearables. It's all of that stuff. And so essentially it just needs to be minted, right? And the cool part about Flow Hybrid Custody is they can mint it in a custodial wallet for you. That goes, you get an email presumably, and it goes like, "Hey, you want to claim this? Put this in your Dapper wallet. Keep it in this Dapper wallet. Either way, it's yours, or we'll hang on to it till you want it." Like, and that is one of the cool things, about how Flow Hybrid Custody works. So
Yep, I would wonder if like how they're collecting people's information when you sign up for camp. Like maybe they take your email.
yeah, I mean, I'm assuming I haven't been through that kind of flow, but I'm assuming you have to provide an email to buy a ticket, right? So that would be how that would work.
On board or well, we
Mm.
have some guests. Jenny, Kyle, GM. Happy Monday.
Yeah, what's up?
Yo, what's
Y-
going on?
I'm sad that I didn't get to meet Dude Lifts. I gotta meet Chef Tony. I gotta meet Burry Lurkin, FOMO. Who else is in here? But I didn't get to meet you.
I
Dude Lifts.
know
What's
we were
ahead?
probably feet from each other when you were like getting some stickers at our table or whatever, but I was just in the mix, like, um, but I will say, Jenny, I listened to the NFT Catcher pod today and heard you talk about your experience of being on camera during our stream. It was awesome. So
Oh my God, yeah. I literally was like, I checked after. I'm like, why is there a camera here? Then I look, I'm like, oh, this is recording, and I was definitely blocking the viewer's view for a solid. But yeah, but I love that you guys were there. Like, I mean, I was like taking videos of you guys. Obviously, you're in the vlog, but yeah, it was cool seeing you guys like have the whole setup and doing your whole thing. So
no,
I will say, you gave me the alpha, right? You're like, Chef Tony, why aren't you wearing your doodle on your clothes so people can identify you? And I was like, damn, you're so right. Like it's like a name tag. But so you had giant Jenny from the blockchain on your denim jacket that you made
Can't miss it.
yourself, right?
Yeah.
So
Well, so for me, it's like it's hard for like I don't know what a lot of people look like. You know, it's like
sure.
Pepsi, I didn't know what you looked like. Doodles, I didn't know what you looked like. So it's like I'm not gonna be able to recognize people, and I don't assume that people know what I look like. Like I don't assume they're following me, watching my videos, whatever. But maybe they've heard of me somehow, and if I have Jenny from the blockchain with my doodle on my jacket, like, and they're
It's
like,
hard to
oh,
miss.
that's who that person is.
Yeah, I can't
Yeah,
lie.
it's fun.
Smart.
It's just like, yeah, for VCon, I made it for VCon, and then I'm like, now I'm gonna start wearing it to events because I just think it's kind of fun.
Yeah,
'Cause
you
no
got
one
the
really does
jacket.
that.
You got the jacket.
So,
Then you
yeah,
also got the freshest kicks, right?
yeah, the
Those are
kicks.
so clean.
From head to
I
toe.
know.
It's awesome.
Thank you.
That's
But yeah,
awesome.
you guys are next. You guys need custom kicks. You guys need some custom merch.
I've been talking with
Yeah, we
freshest
need,
kicks. We've been in the DMs. Been
we need
discussing.
to go down. We need to go deeper into the funnel if that's possible.
If that's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jenny, just want to say appreciate your vlogs putting out all 3 over the weekend. They definitely kept the vibes going from Chicago. I was like watching them, showing my wife. I was like, check this out. This is what it was like. So it was awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's fun to kind of put them together after the fact. Although it's like I had like an hour worth of footage that I had to, break up into 3 2-minute videos. But so it was just kind of a lot that next day trying to bust it all out and edit everything. But it's always fun when it finally comes together and you're like, oh, like I did it, and people enjoy it, and it feels like a little accomplishment, and then I just gotta have the content. So
Yeah.
Yeah, so just in general, like I know like we got the camp RFP as well as you did. I thought that stuff is pretty cool, like from a creator's point of view, that
oh, yeah.
that the project and the community treasury is doing stuff like that. Like we don't have a treasury anywhere near the size of the Nouns, but I thought it was cool, right? I loved that. I was like, all right, great. Like I don't have to pay to fly out here. Like this is balling.
Yeah, no, that was honestly so great of them to kind of extend that opportunity to content creators that are also holders. Like that's just so smart in my opinion to do something like that, and to kind of guarantee like, that people will come and cover the event, and because it's like, yeah, sure, there'll be 100 or so people that go to the actual event, but there's going to be thousands of people at home that don't go, that want to be able to experience it, and maybe that kind of inspires them to want to actually go to it. Who knows? But yeah, it was nice that they did that.
Yeah, I think we definitely learned a lot about, like what to do and what not to do, and maybe like thinking through it. But like to be fair, like we were talking about this holder preview, I had no real concept of what it was going to be like. But it was unique for an NFT event. Obviously, like the after party at the place Earl's, like that was, all right, yeah, we got an open bar, we're hanging out, vibing. But I was just like, wow, Doodles is really kind of built different right now. I know that Pudgy Penguins has been trying to target other demographics by making toys, but this, I was like, you can really capture. I mean, I think they said like they have like something like 10,000 people go through camp every week. And I start, when you start adding up those numbers, you're like, whoa, that is a lot of new people. Pretty cool, right? Like, what was your kind of your take on like the level of execution of it? I'm kind of curious, and then we can move.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've been to all the Doodles events, and I just remember the first one, South by Southwest, like how blown away I was by like them putting that whole thing together. So I feel like by the time camp came around, I'm a little like, I've kind of seen them do like all their wonderful things. But my sister, it was her first time like going to any type of Doodles event, and she was like blown away. She's like, this is so cool. Like, this is incredible what they're doing, and she really loved it. And I obviously liked it too. But yeah, it's cool. I love that they're really taking over. I feel like they're like taking over the event space for NFT projects. I mean, what other projects are doing events like this? Like, yeah, people will throw parties token gated, but nobody's really doing like whole experiences and kind of really trying to break out and cater to, normies essentially.
Yeah, I think just in general, I mean, obviously got to give a shout out to Gary V, like what he's doing with VCon in terms of like the conference or the convention.
Sure.
I think that he's definitely got the competitive advantage there. But at least from a business point of view, like being a holder, you're like, oh, like, I mean, you get a VC funding round, so you have money, but like they have plenty of, board members, interests and stuff like that. So they have to make money too. And I saw this and I was like, okay, this camp partnership, they didn't have to like reinvent the wheel. They were just like, hey, let's hop on, let's build our thing. And that, I think it was smart.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like the more you do, then the more you can go back to investors and be like, "Hey, look what I did," and try
You
to
proved it. Give me more money. Yeah, because all these other events, like they're like, oh, we got 1,800,000,000 impressions, but it cost us $3.5 million, right?
Well, or like Azuki, like I mean, people estimated that the Hakkasan event costs like $10 million for the weekend. Like it was kind of like a race.
Azuki goes hard, like
Yeah, I
Azuki
mean,
goes hard.
hey, it shows, but it was like kind of a race. It was kind of a race, like who can spend the most money for like the shortest event. You know what I mean? Like really.
The space race.
I know, right? It was the arms race. Like, who's the next one to spend $20 million?
People like to flex. They like to flex and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna spend the most." It's like spend a lot, make a lot. I mean.
To be fair, yeah, they did make $40 million 2 days after that party. So maybe maybe it was a good investment. Maybe we're the losers here. No, but it is definitely something unique in this space, which I think is really cool. And it's the only thing that's going to be around for more than a weekend. So that's pretty cool. Like my wife and I are already planning our trip back, so we're stoked.
Yeah, I love that you can buy tickets till like mid-October. So, and I don't think a lot of people know that or even knew that. Like people thought that, oh, it's just a one-time thing, like, or even some people thought this was just for holders. Like this is a whole experience that's going to be going on for a while. And Dylan was saying like if it goes well, they might do it at other camps. And there's like, I mean, I'm here in Texas, and there's a camp in Dallas, and there's camps all over. So. I don't know if it does well. Like I'm sure they'll probably do some in other locations too, but we'll see.
Yeah. Like I've heard it's kind of like like Broadway shows, like like Wicked. It travels around. I think that's what they do with like the Encanto one right now is in whatever city, and it kind of moves around. Which is again, if they're built similar square footage wise, empty rooms, if they built this modular like they did something in the water tanks, then. Watch out. Yo, Kyle, GM, I saw your hand fell off, and now you're gluing it back with wood glue as you're in the workshop right now. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, man. GM guys, how you guys doing?
Doing good, GM.
Dude, I was first off, thanks for doing such a great job in the event in Chicago, man. You guys I saw you working the whole time, especially when the actual event was happening. So I kind of laid low, but that's kind of my style. Anyways, just wanted to say thanks, you guys.
Appreciate the love.
It. Yeah. But to kind of go back 10 minutes ago, I was thinking the exact same thing that Lifts was saying. Like when we were in there, like creating our doodles too, like, I mean, there's got to be some way to incorporate like actual people buying these, whether it's socks for $2 or something like that. Like the foundation is being like set for that, you could tell. And they wouldn't put that much time and effort into that, or at least in my opinion, into that much artwork, like new artwork for doodles too, just to like be oh, and when you leave it's gone, like you can't ever get it again, it's like so
well, and I'm like think about this flow, right? Like you pay $35, let's say that comes with the wearables, right? What if those wearables are only available at the camp location? You're just a normie, right? You're like, oh, okay, cool. I got these wearables. Oh, and I find out I can go to Gaia. Then there's a bunch of us ravenous degens who are like waiting, like, I'll give you $100 for those worm shoes. And they're like, whoa, this is crazy. Like, I guess people want these worm shoes, like that's a really interesting onboarding experience to NFTs.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, for those of you guys that weren't there, like Flo had a presence there, at least as far as, having people there. And I mean, they were taking in information. It was like, okay, what's going on here? And that they were there for a reason, not just because they're partners with Doodle, but or doodles. But yeah, so that, I mean, I have a lot of takeaways from the whole trip, and I'm not going to get into all of them on the space because I got 4% left on my phone. I got a baby in my hand, and we are making dinner here pretty soon. But that was one of my main takeaways is like there's got to be a way to incorporate doodles too into these like in real life activations because the amount of people that are coming through there every day. And no, I mean, they're not going to buy a $1,500 pair of like rainbow puke shoes, you know, but they'll get into the ecosystem somehow by doing that. And it's creating that top of the funnel kind of thing that the funnel gets bigger and bigger over time, and that'll funnel down, you know. So that was my main takeaway with what you were saying, Lifts, with all the wearables, because man, I want those wearables too that we
Yeah, you kidding me?
unpacked.
Yes.
There was some
They were
really like,
baller.
Let me get the worm
And you know-
pants, beehive underpants.
Yeah.
Alien hoodie.
Oh, the
my
and you know,
alien
Burnt
hoodie.
Toast like spent or I mean, him and the team spent a lot of time like creating those wearables that we had never seen before. So for those of you guys that didn't make it, there are a ton of wearables that were like hidden in that whole experience that you get to uncover.
And
So
I know I
that
didn't
was
even
pretty
see
cool.
all of them. I know that for a fact. I don't know if you went around and got all of them, but I'm sure there's some I haven't seen, which is really cool.
Oh yeah, and like the coolest thing was so long story short, like when you walk through that whole event, you know, for everybody that wasn't there, you were like, in the future it'll be a wristband, but like we were using our lanyard little things and not clicking, but holding them up to like this little pad, and then it would make a beeping noise, and that means you get to go back to the station and uncover like what you like basically acquired during the whole scavenger hunt. But I noticed everybody was getting different stuff. It wasn't just like, oh, you go to this station, you get the same thing. And so I thought that was pretty creative too.
Yeah, no, it's super cool. And if you notice, so that wristband, that piece, there's called the doodad, and it's like if you can imagine, you know, let's say you keep your doodad and you go to the next event, the next activation. Maybe it's not even at camp, but it's all built on this studio infrastructure, and so you bop in, and then you see your doodle at this new event, maybe in another country, another place, like, and that can go with you, and that's essentially like digital identity in real life. That's kind of, you know, what we're talking about.
Yes, you're right.
Exactly.
The place that I saw something similar-ish to the idea of like put something on your wrist and then you can acquire stuff was at Cooltopia in
Right.
NFT NYC last
Right.
year. So I think they took like a page out of that book in the concept of it. Zoom back to way back when. If you go back to the Space Doodle docs, you'll see that there's something in there that allows you. There's like a way that like if you were to attend events of some sort, there could be ways that you could like earn power-ups or
Hmm.
something. You know what I mean? Kind of like how like there used to be like things in Pokemon, like if you'd go to a center or something, you could like be able to get an
Yeah.
egg for a Pokemon, and you'd have to go somewhere to acquire it or
Yeah.
something like that, like based on geographic location. I definitely think that gamification in that sense, right, for us more like nut jobs or whatever you
Sure.
want to call OG holders, right? Yeah, it's synonymous. That would be really cool if, like you said, like if you had like a more rigid doodad that we kind of went everywhere, like more like an Apple Watch,
Sure.
maybe
Sure.
maybe just an app
Well, and I
that
see,
used NFC.
you know, I know Jenny's up here, and Jenny's, you know, associated with Evaluate. Like imagine you walked outside in activation and there was like a little swap stand or something like that where you could bop your doodad and just start swapping like right after you get out of the thing. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of a interesting kind of experience. I think this, and that's what I think, just to say this, and then I'd love to hear Neanderthal's thoughts. That's what I think Julian tweeted about a couple days ago, is essentially people like myself and others who are growing up now who have kids. I don't have kids, but people my age who do have kids, like, are the people who grew up with all these kind of collectible games, right? Pokemon, other things like that. And it's really kind of introducing this new idea of collecting to a new generation. And so that's why this concept of like digital collectibles, but you know, bringing them in real life, it's so interesting and really compelling. And I think, you know, I think there's something to that. But Neanderthal, got your hand up. Welcome, GM man. Neanderthal.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can
Yes,
hear you
sir.
now.
GM.
Oh, sorry. I'm like my mic's getting off and on. Okay, hopefully you guys can hear me now.
Yeah,
Yep.
we can hear you.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I mean, we have a doodad with our phone, right? So only thing we need to do is have some kind of near field communication thing where you would tap your phone, that would unlock whatever. I mean, I think that would be quite easy if they really wanted to go that route. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be something in the near future where Flow is just going to be something that they can interact with on a phone level. But
Right.
ideally, you'd want to be able to. I mean, what are we doing? We're doing everything's through email through Flow at the moment, if I'm not mistaken, for the most part. So I can
Mhm.
imagine something where you're just like side loading your email, typing your email to the doodad or whatever, some kind of station, and then you're able to travel with whatever new doodad they have. So I can definitely see that. And then as far as for me, because I didn't go to the event, I think what's been exciting for me on the holder side has been looking at metrics outside of our holders, which is
Sure.
quite simple. I'll always go to Instagram and I'll go to the doodles account, and I'll look at who's tagged it, or I'll go to the camp and see who's tagged these accounts.
Mhm.
And I'm looking at families that are talking about doodles, and they're
Right.
like, holy smoke, like this is exciting, this is amazing, my kid has so much fun, I can't wait to go back. And I'm looking at this.
That's a trip.
That's the exciting part, right? Because everyone always, I think early on in NFTs, that was the big thing. We're going to bridge the gap. We're going to bridge the gap. And here we are
Right.
in a very real way doing it. It may not be how people expected it, but I don't know, man, it makes sense to me. And it's exciting as a holder, not because I have to experience it, but because I know someone that did experience it is having so much fun without even knowing that there's an actual community and project being that's kind of helping out in a
Yeah.
sense. So I think that's kind of the exciting part for me.
Dude, I did the same thing. I was kind of tracking Instagram, TikTok, things like that. There's a few kind of family influencers with over 1 million followers on TikTok who are posting about it. And then I just did like a simple Google. I said Camp Doodle Chicago and just saw what, came up. And there was already blogs written about it from like family blogs. They had the local Chicago news station there had already put out pieces about it with video that are just like total like news videos. You know what I mean? Like, we're here at Doodles Camp and look at these bands. Like, and it's just cheesy, but it's like, but that's like local market penetration. You know what I mean? It's like that's what they said they were gonna do. And Tony and I got to go to a media walkthrough earlier in the day before the holder preview. And those are the kind of people that we saw there. It was like we were in a group with probably like 8 families, and I kind of looked and I was like, I don't think these parents are just recording this stuff for like shits and gigs, like this stuff is probably going to come out on socials at some point in the future. And it was smart,
It's a gimbal
Dude.
in that purse.
Yeah,
Right.
no. I mean, I would say, and if you go back, I mean, some of the accounts that I noticed that were posting, it felt like word of mouth, or they were like fairly big accounts. And that to me was also very interesting, because it was like, yeah, why wouldn't I want someone, it's my friend. If my friend tells me to go check it out, I'm more than likely to do it than if some stranger, NFTs has felt like,
Like, have you heard of doodles? And you're like,
dude,
what
it
the
feels
hell? Like, yeah, like quit breathing down my
if you've
neck.
ever
Yeah.
been to Vegas and there's just in the strip they're handing you like random fucking flyers. Like that's
Yes.
what NFT felt like to me all the time. I'm over
Like
here
it was
trying to
being
convince you,
forced down you, and you're
yeah,
like,
like,
you were not
dude,
asking. Yeah.
just trust me. Like, what the why
Well,
would I
dude,
just
you know what
trust
it felt like to me watching these videos, and I'm not like, I don't follow the kind of like family influencer spheres or anything, but I follow my local food scene like online on Instagram pretty closely, and you'd be amazed at the power that like a single kind of local influencer can put a place on the map like really quickly. And I think that's kind of underestimated. People are like, well, how are people going to discover it? Are they just going to walk up to it? And it's like, no, like this is a carefully calculated like local
Yeah.
influencer campaign.
Yeah, like you're saying, I think that's definitely a thing. And I also think, just to Neanderthal's point, just from like a non-food influencer, just foodie, like I always post my food, right? I want to tag where it is, just like, I don't know, sometimes it's nice to be like, oh, I put you onto this food. So I feel like having that at all levels, right? You're saying like, clearly, yeah, let's, cherry pick these folks. And then just in general, you know, like just through your friend group, you know, I guess some people that aren't just like all like, you know, like you said, maybe in the certain food, like unless you don't follow those influencers, it's still going to like pervade vis-a-vis social media.
Right.
And one other thing to consider outside of camp, of course, but camp was a major aspect of it for the G2 activation in Tokyo. I've also been looking at that, trying to see who's like touching that.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
seems it's the same thing. It's like there's this random person I'm looking at who's tagged doodles. I look at their account. There's zero NFT, zero to do with NFT. All they did was go to G2, go to that event. They bought that. That's the highlight for them, it seems. That's the first thing they post. And then if you continue going, they're buying other art. And it's just that small aspect that they didn't need to know that it was an NFT thing. They had no, probably they, if they did know, I mean, maybe they bought it because of that, but it doesn't seem that way from the outside looking in. It just looks like someone really liked it. They bought the Hap vinyl, and they were excited to own something that looked exciting to them. And I think with time, it'll make sense. It's just the unfortunate or the fortunate aspect of having, you know, a lot of noise versus having real people, Web2 individuals share in the Web3 experience without necessarily having to do it. And I think that's kind of like the bread and butter of doodles. But I don't know. It's just it's
Yeah.
disheartening to see like people like just dump on it. I'm like, it's exactly what we wanted. I don't know what else people want, but
Yeah.
I'm still excited.
Neanderthal was watching, and we were chatting in the DMs. There's someone who tweeted about basically like, you know, like, oh, this, you know, Doodles launch is a failure of e-commerce. They have no eyes on, like, nobody's tweeting about it, like, yada yada yada. And so I said, and he said something to the effect of like, you know, if they wanted to be in Walmart, Walmart would never place a second product order. And I was like, you're assuming they want to be in Walmart first and foremost. It's like, and some projects are doing that kind of like the Pudgy's approach. Like we know that Pudgy's has been to Bentonville, Arkansas. You can only assume those conversations have happened. But I was like, yeah, you're assuming they want to be in Walmart. Like it's just a different strategy. Like, and the guy was like, he you know, responded to me. He was like, you just don't get it. And then David Horvath commented below me, and he was like, I think he gets it just fine. And I was like, yes,
My dog.
my dog. DH.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
that's all the affirmation that list needs.
That's all I needed.
in
I'm good for like
Neanderthal.
another year, you know. I'll be fine. So
Shout out Papa Hobart.
It would not be a space with Neanderthal and Doodless without shouting out David Horvath.
Gotta shout out our Lord and Savior. But I did want to shout out Chunk Sampson. Chunk Sampson came up to the stage a little bit ago, and Chunk joined us on the stage from camp live, which was awesome. So, dude, welcome to our spaces. GM, how are you doing today, man?
GM, doing great.
Yo,
Camp was a success, I think, to say the least. How are you guys?
fantastic. I'm so glad that I got to link up with you there, dude. Like, you know, real recognized, real for sure. And it was your first event, right? As a holder, like I guess since you got in, that was like the first event that happened.
Yep, very first one. Loved it. And I was actually about to ask, I was like, did any of you guys go to it after like the opening, after the holder opening?
Ooh, I did not, but I knew some people stuck around and they went back on the 19th, but I did not personally. I wanted to ask you, because I know you brought your significant other to the holder preview, and I know you said you felt validated that that all of us were real people and you're not crazy. Like, what was your significant other's kind of take after the fact?
Yeah, so she's like the art. For me, just like talking about it all the time, and she's really like the art. But I think when she kind of saw the realness to it all, it made a lot more sense. And on top of that, so I loved it. I loved it. I loved the first day, but I actually went back that second day,
Oh,
and I think
Mm.
she had the same kind of eye-opening experience as I did the next day. Because one, it was packed in there with like
Yep.
kids. It was packed with kids, which was awesome at first. And then you could just see, like, I mean, I don't think any of the kids really knew what doodles were, I'm assuming. But just like the happiness, the joy, the ease of following along with it all on that day is really, really what made my eyes like look at it different, and as well as hers, as somebody who's not even in the space for real.
That's cool. That's cool. It's cool to see it through the eyes of somebody else, especially like you said, and I think going to walk through it with families like Tony and I did too. It's a pretty unique experience. Because yeah, it was just like there was a scene, I think, when you're in the studio, in order to unlock the rainbow portal, you have to shout "Beehive Underpants," and Tony and I were just standing there, just obviously just being us, and all these kids are just like
screaming at the top of our lungs.
It's like
Right.
they loved it.
Like we did not stutter. Yeah, like those windows would break if they were.
It was like
mad
Captain
blast
Underpants
heavyweight.
when you're a kid.
Pushing the kids out of the way,
Yeah.
screaming it louder now.
Jeez. So funny.
Yeah, it was pretty epic, and it was like I was saying. I mean, it's interesting that you don't have another event to compare it to, because like I was mentioning before, I think I was definitely really happy for them that they did it, and like maybe like I'm not like, oh, I need to go drag my kid there, but it was just great, right? Like we got the new merch. I thought that there was like a lot of cool, interesting things, like what was like playing cards and those like, what do you call them? Those magnetic building blocks.
Oh, yeah, the magnetic tiles.
Yeah, so
Oh,
it was
shit, it's
definitely.
hot.
I mean, like it made sense. Like you went there and you're like, all right, like you get this. I don't know, like your kid's in like a doctor's office or something. Just like play with these. And I did think we also got some pretty cool community made merch. Some 3D printed community created merch.
We did.
Some pretty cheeky merch.
Oh, it was pretty cheeky.
I heard that people were requesting more cheeks. That's what I heard.
More
Well,
cheeks.
yeah, people were like, it's got to be bigger. And I was like,
Eiler, this is
Like, this thing is double cheeked up on a
Wait, what?
Tuesday already.
he's already like doing all right for himself, But yeah, it was really fun given all the little dudes. That experience was nuts. They're really personally, I could see how they were really thinking like really far forward. Like this isn't just an experience you go to once, and it's not priced that way either, right? You're gonna take your doodad home, and you're gonna, as a kid, you'd probably like treasure that, and you'd want to go back and you want to add more to your dude, And I think they were gonna have you print out a little picture of your guy, and you could buy like a frame for it at the end, but that wasn't there at the experience when I went.
Oh, that's what that frame was for. Yeah, you could print out a quote unquote like sticker or a picture of your doodle, and then you could probably put it in that frame. It all makes sense. No, that's a good catch. Good catch, Tyler. That's cool.
When I thought a sticker of a doodle, I was thinking of like my OG doodle, right? And I was just like, all right, get some slaps. But that concept of like, I don't know, you go to Kennedy Space Center or something and you like take a picture next to a thing and you like, I have those from when I was a kid. And maybe this, I guess, is something like you'd put on your refrigerator, like if it had a magnet in it or something.
Could be.
I did also see some people put magnets into those double cheeked up 3D printed things too.
Well, I think, did they come with magnets? Eiler, can you confirm?
I think we might have lost them.
Oh, no. Well, mine had a magnet and I didn't add it. So,
I don't know if mine has a magnet. I'd have to check on it.
yes.
But maybe they all do, because I see, let's see, he says, really nice to meet everyone at campus. So glad for now I have some work to do with the printer. I'll be shipping these to various people. Okay. Maybe this one that I see was like glued up or somewhere, but I did see people messing around with them with magnets. Yo, you're back.
I'm back. Yeah, I don't know. The desktop has a couple bugs, I guess.
Yeah, I've learned the same thing. I just like, when I do it now, I have to use like two phones to do both of them. It's kind of.
I see. But yeah, I put a magnet in each guy. Um, Basically, you put a magnet-sized hole in the model, and you pause at the right layer, and you can stick all the magnets in, and then tell it to start printing. And you hope the magnets don't stick to the print head.
Just spray and pray, you know?
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
rich. I'm gonna put him on my mic boom pole then.
Oh, that's
I need to go
so
find him
smart.
really quick.
I
Yeah.
think
so
that's
smart.
what Frosty did.
That is so. I'm gonna go find him really quick. Be right back.
I'll wait till Tony gets back and then I'll do it. I'll do it too because I really want to do that. But Ash, I saw you raising your hand. GM, what's going on?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Yeah,
I
what's
hope
up?
you guys had a lot of fun camping.
Yeah.
I didn't know you guys also have arrows. I thought it's a Canadian thing. I was surprised you guys had the after party there.
Oh, at Earl's?
Yeah, wasn't that the after party?
Yeah, I didn't know if that was like a chain or something. I thought it was just a local spot. I have no idea.
Oh, fair. Yeah. No, I thought there's a lot of the chains in Canada, so I thought it's Canadian. But
Nice.
dude, I was gonna ask Ealer, like, what are the chances we could turn those things into smoke bombs that just blow iridescent smoke when you bash them into the wall or something?
That would be amazing. I don't really know. I'm not like a pyromaniac, so I don't know how smoke bombs are really made. But
I
I'm
just
sure it's
want them to
possible.
fart rainbow colors.
Yeah. No, I kind of vibe with that actually.
You
No,
could
but
maybe
jokes
like
aside, they look really cool. Sorry
you
to
could
interrupt.
maybe like rig it up in the sense like I don't know, maybe like out of the cheeks there'd be a wick that would go, but it would be a one-time use. Or you might be able to like
Oh yeah.
put like those things like in a fish aquarium that you use to aerate. Normally you put like a little rock on the bottom of it. That tubing, you could rig it vis-a-vis maybe like a 2-liter cap on the front of a smoke machine. You cut a little hole, maybe use some putty, tube it to a hollow version of the little cheek guy, and you could set up cameras in a certain way
This is
and
getting
do a lot of footage.
incredibly intricate.
And you could use like little like model trains so it looked like it was giant in the little city, like small trees, like a diorama is what I'm thinking.
I did
these
get
things.
my little dude up on my mic, so he's just chilling.
How did you get him up there?
Because he's
I'm trying to
magnetic.
stick
He's
him.
just chilling. You just put him on the thing.
Okay, yep, there he is.
Yeah, look at him. Look at him go.
Oh, the places you'll be.
It's like oh, dude, I love that. Yeah, it looks like
This is absolutely wonderful.
This is fantastic. Thank you, Eiler. Thank you. You've made an indelible mark.
I'm not sure if you're watching the live stream that we have, but we do have a live stream going on, and our little guys are on our mics.
If you go back to timestamp 48 minutes, you'll see our little BBs hanging out. So cool. Well, Eiler, since you're up here, like, oh, Eiler went down to listener. Must have been having. Oh, but now he's requesting again. Must be having those issues. Let's see. Well, Eiler,
back
since you're back.
Oh, sorry.
No.
Good Lord.
Third time is the charm.
I do have one thing I want to mention.
Yeah.
I'm currently doing some photogrammetry of that, of the doodle with his cross-armed.
Okay.
The vinyl figure we just got.
Yeah.
Pause. What's photogrammetry?
That's where you take a bunch of pictures and you put it in a program, and the program makes a 3D model of it.
Oh, nice. Have you ever used Polycam?
No.
Oh, you should.
I haven't heard of it.
Oh, download it immediately. It'll change your life. You can make 3D models of literally anything.
Yeah, no, I installed that yesterday. It didn't. This particular model is not the easiest thing.
Okay.
To photogrammetry because it's kind of reflective.
There's a little. Oh, did you get the holographic one?
No, I got the normal one. He's just kind of glossy. And he doesn't have any like really defined points on him. So
that app has a little bit of a learning curve too. Like you have to hold down the photo button, and it'll just take as many photos as you let it. The more you take, obviously, the better the resolution of the scan, and then it has to upload to the cloud. Yada yada. You know all this.
Yep. I did actually get. I think that's the only one I got a semi-reasonable
file out of, but it's still just, I don't know. The model's kind of big and complicated. So right now I've got I paid like $200 for some software.
You're trying to
So I hope
you're trying to
that goes well.
duplicate, if you will.
I'm trying to duplicate right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
I spent hours on it yesterday. It's been rough, but I'm thinking this will work out.
I respect that you will have spent more money duplicating the vinyl than buying the vinyl. I
Oh my
respect that so much.
Don't rub that in. Oh my
I thought
God.
about that, and I just like
This is
I
the
don't care
way.
anymore.
This is the way.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
Love that.
but I'll be able to print as many as I want later,
Hey,
and hopefully I can make one that looks like me.
it'll all be worth it in the end. Okay, that would be pretty cool. Start swapping some traits out there, do some cool stuff.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Smart. Interesting. Now
All
I want one. Damn it.
That's all I have to say. Thanks for having me up, guys.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
It was a pleasure to meet you, Eiler, and you keep on keeping on with that 3D printer. It's one of my most exciting things that I've ever seen a holder purchase because you're actually doing stuff with it. So I'm very fun. I'm really excited to see what you make with it.
Have you named these
Yeah.
doodle heads?
I've just been calling him Butt Guy or Butt Dude.
Yeah, I like butt dude.
It's kind of like Toodles or something.
Ooh.
Geez, man. Yeah.
So Ash, what was it like seeing camp from the outside perspective?
Ooh.
And then I do also want to start talking about some of the incubator powered community events.
It was really cool seeing like the Hap and Mellow review. Like I'm really I like the names. The poster looked really cool. Holders look excited, and the whole thing seemed really coherent, like an immersive thing that is like from the floor to the walls. It was really like coherent. That's the only word I can think of.
Sure.
It looked like it had a good flow from the space within, and everything is like Doodleverse essentially, right? But it also looked less mechanical than the previous ones. I haven't gone to the previous ones, but I assume it's less mechanical because it's supposed to last longer, and mechanical things tend to break more often, especially if kids are going to interact with it. Only thing I didn't get is that what's the rainbow? What was the rainbow thing that you guys would run up and hit? What would that do?
There's Tony. Go ahead.
Okay. Have you ever seen American Ninja Warrior or like just Ninja Warrior in general?
Yeah.
So it's like that warped wall thing, right? You know, like they like climb up it. It's like running up like a skateboard ramp, and then you have to grab the top of it to climb over a thing. So are you just wondering what piece of lore is it, or what is the activity?
Oh no. I thought they were like slapping a certain place. I was just wondering.
Okay.
Did it play a video? Would it make a sound?
So yeah, essentially around the entire activation, there were RFID like hub locations that, you know, like you couldn't miss it, right? Like you knew that this thing was meant to be tapped on. I forget what they looked like, but
it's a sticky note.
They were, yeah, like a sticky note. There you go. So you go boop, and then it goes beep, and then you can collect them throughout the activation. And then there's an area where they have iPads where you tap the iPad, and then it brings up the Studio Doodles 2 character creator, and it shows you all the wearables that you've acquired throughout the activation.
That's awesome. I didn't know that at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah. So essentially, I just pinned up the thread to the top. Like if you go to the, let me see, page number. I guess we don't have the picture of the doodad. Essentially, it's like a festival wristband that has like a tiny little RFID chip in it. Or what they were using during the holder preview was just like a
lanyard,
like a lanyard. And essentially that was something we were talking about a little bit ago, as people weren't able to buy the wearables after the fact, or you weren't able to take them home. And we were kind of trying to figure out how they might end up doing that. But so there was an element of you're in camp, you can do like play all these games, but there's also just like an Easter egg hunt, or what would you consider it? Like
there's
you're like on a mission to collect.
Yeah, it's kind of a collecting quest. But to your point, Ash, I think there will be some more mechanical components in the future. We saw some of the stuff that they're going to be putting in, and I think a lot of it is that idea of you scan your doodad or tap your doodad, which triggers some action. That could be a collect, where you pull something, or it's a push, right? In the sense that like the lighting changes, the music changes, your doodle now appears on this like portal on the wall. There was stuff that I didn't even know about till I watched this news special later. So Tony, you remember the mushrooms in the crash site?
Briefly, yes.
The little ones that light up? That's a memory
Yes.
game. That's a memory game you can play. I had no idea. They didn't tell us anything.
A memory game?
Yeah, like it's like Simon like goes like boop boop boop. You have to go beep boop boop, and that probably does
How do
something.
you do that?
Apparently,
really?
you can touch them. I guess I don't know. It works. I don't know. But
That is so cool.
That's one of the things, Ash, is like there's just layers of things you can discover within the activation. Like I said, Tony and I went there twice. We were there for many hours and still didn't even experience
And you
anything.
still miss the mushroom.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome, dude. No, I would love to do that. Like, I saw to do that, but I didn't know you're collecting throughout the experience, and they're the variables. I also assumed you would keep the doodad.
Well, we did.
We did.
Well, I thought you said you had to take it home.
So you can take home the physical device, but there was no way that like, hey, if you grab your doodad, hop onto your email and we'll transfer this to your Dapper wallet.
Oh,
right?
the stuff you collected, you mean? Okay.
Correct.
Yes.
So when in the studio, when you made a character, you didn't have to like give it your email or something?
Correct. It was just basically okay, so here we meet the main character and this cat, the two main characters. Okay, and then there's some stuff going on, right? He's like working on a portal, like we've seen in some of the animations, and they get sucked in. And the idea is like they go to Doodle World, right? Because they're just in like, what do they call it? Dirty World or some like Dullsville, right? That was like the thing. So the idea is to be able to save them and find out where they are. You have to be a doodle, right? Like you can't be a person. So you have to become a doodle. So you go ahead, you boop, tap your thing, and then you create, based on, traits and just basically like the color of your clothes. There's not like a whole lot of variables.
I mean, the studio is in beta, so it does make sense that they didn't allow you to sign up, because then everyone else is getting, I guess, paying for a beta access, right? So it's not live technically.
There's a lot of reasons probably, but that could be one of them. Yeah.
Yeah. One thing that I was like, wow, this is crazy. Did you guys oh, you're not in the, I can't speak of the group. It's a joke, but I said it in the group chat. It's the only Doodle group chat I'm in.
Sure.
I was telling them it looks like are you guys familiar with Dominic Wilcox?
No.
No.
I will put something on top, I guess. Here's his car. But that one's in like a design museum or something still, I think. But the guys like creates these crazy inventions. My favorite one is where he basically created a earphone where it puts the auditory input from your right ear to your left ear, and then from your left ear to your right ear.
Oh, this sounds familiar. I think I've heard of this.
You might have seen that one. He makes this like really crazy stuff. And a few years back, he started this thing called Little Inventors. I found this, the audio thing. I'm putting it on top so you could have a look at it. But yeah, he started this thing called Little Inventors. It's been like sponsored by the UK and Canadian government, and they basically bring in kids, let them help them imagine crazy designs, and then they partner them up with like actual designers to make some of those things come to life.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and like seeing like the Hap character, the personality traits they mentioned, and the invention, like that he was like, oh, this comes to life, like the, what was it, ketchup and mustard jetpack or something. So I was like,
yeah.
shit, this could totally also go that way, where there would be like a somewhat of an educational element for sparking creativity into kids and educating them about how things are made, and yeah, just
Yeah, I mean, I would even think of, right, like just down the pathway of where I'm sure like Golden Wolf and those folks are experimenting with AI. If there was a way, you know, like in there, like you're saying, like if people, if there was a way that people on site, let's say you were a kid or just a person, was able to like create a wearable like with a snap of your finger, almost like giving a prompt. Like, so you'd be able to customize, you know, like millions of unique wearables. That would be pretty wild.
I will say, just to give a shout out to Bathtub Dino, and it was awesome meeting them at camp. They put a comment in the chat that said they noticed that Tony and I had the actual doodads, but the lanyards that the holders have, there were some kind of passes or SKU numbers on there. Maybe they'll be able to input those numbers on Flow at a later date.
Oh, don't tell me I got egged. But I will tell you, when we were leaving that that dinner place, somebody, like, there was like maybe 5 people left there, and someone was like, "Hey, does anybody have this badge?" And I was like, "Give me that." So I do have a badge
Oh,
too.
you sniped one. You
I did
sly
snipe
dog.
one. I don't know, but somebody lost theirs, so I also kind of feel bad. But not that bad because they lost it, right?
Yeah, finders keepers, right? Yeah. Oh, that's really funny. No, that'll be really interesting to see. And Ash, to your point about, you know, serving the community and things like that, I did spend some time with Mackenzie after the event. And so the holder preview was on the 17th, and we were just kind of chatting. And then he mentioned that they were going to bring in like a group of underprivileged youth on the 18th before it officially opened on the 19th. So, you know, if that lets you know kind of what's on top of mind for the team and what they want to do with the space, you know, I think that says a lot. So I thought that was
that's
really cool.
awesome, man. Yeah, I also pinned up one of the kids' invention. The dude came up with this thing, it's like a high five machine. So kids genuinely have like this crazy wild imagination, and it would be really cool to incubate that.
That is really cool. That is super cool.
Pun intended.
Yes, man. Speaking of that, should we talk about the incubator a little bit? This is Ink Tank after all.
Yes, absolutely. So I could set the stage briefly. I mean, so essentially we've got the incubator, which is the Doodles Community Treasury. There's about $5 million in it. And it has opened currently. It's under phase 1, which it allows OG Doodles holders to apply for funding, to make a proposal application, to host a community event. There's like different tiers, but we're just specifically talking about community meetups for all intents and purposes right now. And we had an individual holder who ended up hosting 3 different events. Was it in a 24-hour period? I'd like to say
maybe less. Maybe less.
It could have been less. There was 3 events in less that amount of time. So I think we got to give, even though it's the corny version, a round of applause to Burry Lurkin.
Hey, nobody burrs and nobody lurks like Burry Lurkin.
Like Burry Lurkin. So the quick TLDR on the 3 events. The holder preview occurred on August 17th, which was a
Thursday.
Leading into that, so I think the holder event started at 6 p.m. He popped up at a golf simulation place called
5 Iron, I think.
Called 5 Iron, for what he called Schwing and Schmooze, where holders could just come through and, you know, do some virtual golf. So I know that went really well. So it gave people, like, if you came into town early, you're just kind of twiddling your thumbs, you got something to do, connect. I assume there's probably some kind of drink element to it. So then there was the holder event. We had the after party. It was like at a, you know, dinner and drinks. And then the next day there was Boatin' with Burry. Lifts, you want to go ahead and let everybody know what that was?
Yeah, Boatin' with Burry. And we were peeling in hot to the Boatin' with Burry event because it's one of those
you and
things.
me and FOMO were like
Yeah.
Tom Cruise, like
Mission Impossible
running
hanging
through
off
the
the
garage.
side. Yeah, because it was one of those things where, like, the boat doesn't wait for anybody, and we're like, but
They
the
had
boat,
said that like 15 times, and we were like, oh
yeah,
no.
right? We're not great listeners, but so we showed up, and so there was this boat. I think it was called like the Odyssey, and it was on the Navy Pier in Chicago on Lake Michigan. I mean, decently sized boat. We hopped on. We went upstairs to like the kind of mid-tier deck, and they had a brunch. We all ate brunch together. That was super fun. The food was great. And then most of us just went up to the top deck afterwards and just got to hang out and talk shop and talk doodles because it was the day after the event. So we got to kind of debrief and kind of, take each other's temperature, see what they thought, and also during that, the boat and air show in Chicago was being practiced for. So we're out there on Lake Michigan, which if you haven't been on Lake Michigan before is wild because you feel like you're on the ocean 100%. But we were just being like buzzed by F-16s and C-130s.
Like,
yeah, it was pretty cool. But it was a really good opportunity to just hang and like a little more laid back and get to connect with people. And so that was really cool. So we were out there for a couple hours. It was awesome. Loved it.
And when you say like that was like a decent sized boat, like I didn't really have an idea. Like we walked in, like there was like level 2, level 3, and it was like we were in a restaurant,
Yeah.
like full on, like tablecloths on here, mimosas. It was really pretty done up, and like the food was good from a foodie's point of view.
Oh yeah.
And then from there, that wasn't just that, right? A really unique situation happened. One of our OGs, Ness, he had put in a proposal to send a bunch of us to the Cubs versus Royals game, and he ended up getting egged last minute and was like, can anybody please host this for me? Cricket.
And here comes Burry lurking.
Here comes Burry, right? We're calling him Bercules, right? He put community events on his back and just sent it. So I think what he arranged for a Sprinter van to pick people up from the boat. So they didn't even have to walk. They didn't have to get Ubers. Went over to there, and I got to have my first Chicago dog.
Oh yeah.
And those things were
they're thick.
Unrelentlessly thick.
With a capital
fat
C.
with a there was a Q in there somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, what was it? It was a pickle spear.
The peppers.
Onions. The hot peppers were good.
Yeah, pickle spear, the hot peppers, tomato, mustard, and celery salt, I believe is
celery salt.
Oh, and in that crazy green relish that it has to be like kind of radiation green, very particular.
Yeah, it looked like you cracked a glow stick, and you're like, oops.
It was delicious.
A lot of that got in there. It was really good.
But yeah, thanks, Incubator. It was awesome.
Yeah, that was really cool. It felt like we had like this whole like marathon thing going on. Like I think we were there for 3 days, 2 nights, and I mean we were busy up to the last second. We went from Cubs game to the airport, and I slept like a rock for like 10 hours when I got home.
Yeah, me too. But I mean that was really cool. It was like, yeah, in a weird way, the whole, I keep on wanting to call it the weekend. It wasn't the weekend, but the whole event is a kind of interesting kind of microcosm of the broader Doodles ecosystem, right? Because you had this Doodles team event, which was the Camp Holder preview, which was like amplified and made better by the incubator, right? Because the incubator allowed for 3 events to happen around it, kind of in orbit of it, that made it really feel special for the holders. It's like, I've had, I've gone different events where people get wine and dine or whatever, but it's like, it's just cool to like, oh, your ticket's taken care of, your food's taken care of. Like, it was really cool.
You're here to enjoy. That was it.
And not like a Cubs ticket costs $1 million either. So it's, it's not like it's a small thing, but, and then in addition to that, obviously the content creator RFP, put out there, allowed a handful of content creators to,
including Burry Lurkin.
Including
he did 4 different
Lurkin,
things.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, he ran Chicago, dude.
But so it really is like that. This whole kind of event was a kind of microcosm of the broader Doodles ecosystem, right? All these incubator, events and activations and amplifications were kind of in orbit of the main event, which I think is really what it's supposed to be. So it's cool.
And just to that, to think back to the times of the Doodle Bank.
No.
When did 3 Doodle Bank proposals get accepted in 1 week ever?
Well, I mean, I think like 3 Doodle Bank proposals got accepted in like a year. So
Yeah.
the cadence has increased rapidly.
So just to say that, I mean, in terms of like what, Ink Tank, like right now we have this, camp reunion special edition. And it ultimately, like, our conversation, that the concept, right, is to see what's going on with proposals, what's going on with people's ideas. And I think that this was just like, it showed us that the new governance and the new processes that the founding community council have created do work, right? It was executed, funds made it. We got, launched 3 different groups of people as RFPs. We had 3 different events. And there's already, there's been events in Tokyo, Korea.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really, I mean, it's going to be really special. I think we're going to have a lot of momentum going. I know that there's an incubator related space tomorrow, a doodle sesh.
Ooh.
Hold on to your worm britches.
Or your beehive underpants.
Or your beehive underpants.
Yeah.
Or your gold socks.
Don't talk about the gold socks.
Don't talk about gold socks. Okay. I'm checking my teleprompter right now. Well, Lifts, there might be one person around here right now, but I think we should do a good turn. So, Ash, are you present right now? Are you able to talk?
I was eating, but yeah, I can.
That's okay.
You might want to stop for this.
You might want to stop for this. And
I know it's phase 2. Stop playing with me.
Okay, so one of the things that we had planned for our live stream event during camp was to host a number of giveaways. We only really got to do one. It was a little bit more chaotic than we had expected, but that means we do have some other prizes and games that we didn't get to play. So since you're up here on Spaces, that was going to be our process of elimination. Would you like to play a round of Doodles trivia for the chance to win a Genesis box?
I'll probably be bad at that, but yeah, I would love to play. I thought you were going to say tomorrow is going to be phase 2. I was like, I know that. And I'm so excited.
You ain't getting a damn thing out of me, sir.
No, but that's exciting too. I'm terrible at trivia, but let's give it a go.
All right.
Does anyone else want to get up here to play with me?
I guess you. Oh, interesting. You're trying to phone a friend before we've started.
A little phone friend action.
No, I thought like if they want to compete or
if
something.
anyone else is feeling particularly confident.
If anybody's feeling lucky, we're about to play a round of Doodles trivia for a Genesis box. So you can feel free to request up if you'd like to join. We have a litany of Doodles related trivia questions.
Now, Tony, we're thinking what, 3 out of 5 questions right? Takes the W.
That will take the W.
All right.
And you
3 out of how many?
3 out of 5.
3 out of 5.
All right. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right.
Wait,
let's start off.
Let me grab the soundtrack where you got it lined up. Like the clock soundtrack.
Oh, I know. I wish we wish we had the soundboard.
We do need to line that up.
We're
working on like the Jeopardy sounds and stuff like that too. We'll definitely iterate on the game quality over time.
All right. I'm seeing Eiler. Eiler is requesting, so maybe Eiler is feeling particularly confident. Let's see.
All right. What type of like suspense music? What am I typing?
It says there was an error adding him up. Let me try to do that again.
Oh, I wonder if Eiler's getting desktop rugged. So disappointing.
All right, hold on. Maybe if he leaves the space and then comes back in, I'll give him.
For now, yeah. For now, you.
Oh wait, it says he can speak.
Eiler,
did it work?
Can you speak?
Oh, it's still doing it. Yeah. Why is?
It's not looking good, Brev. It's not looking good.
Tony, I found something.
Oh.
Oh. Damn.
On a new episode of Doodles Trivia, Dude Lips and Chef Tony B have a new contestant who wears a beanie and a piece of wheat in his mouth.
The challenger. The challenger approaches. We will test his mettle against his Doodles trivia knowledge to win a Genesis box.
Dude, you have the perfect voice for this.
Is it Nash? Is it Crash? It's none other than Ash.
Will he be like his namesake after this round of trivia, reduced to ash?
All right. Let's.
Ealer's up here, yo.
And Eiler made it too.
Yeah, Eiler. Sorry about that.
Yo,
Are
Okay.
you
I
feeling
made
lucky?
it.
Who's feeling more? Who's
Yes.
feeling more confident? I know, Ash, you were a little bit like on the edge here. Like,
I
don't
suck
know.
at trivia. I'm not even gonna lie.
do you
but
want to take a
I'm
run at it,
excited to play.
or do you want to let Eiler take a crack
for
at
sure.
it? Okay.
No, let's go.
Okay, so if you don't get it, if you are unable to, then Eiler, you will get a set of questions.
And
then.
Eiler, there will be different questions. So
okay, good.
yeah, we got you. All right, Tony, do you want me to pick, or would you like to pick?
You can go. You go for this one.
Okay.
Ash, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ash, what type of special head doodle is the most scarce in the whole collection?
Ooh, the heads. I want to say the aliens.
He says the aliens, right? Now maybe
They fucked it up from the get go.
I know it.
Eiler, do you want to answer?
It's the whale.
It's the
There's
whale.
Only two.
It is the whale.
There's
There
four.
you go.
Only
There's four.
whales.
Four
Okay.
whales. So doubling, but it is the whale. All right. So hey, it's okay. It's 5 questions.
So
you're only down 1.
Only down 1. You only need to make 3. Still got 4 questions to go.
All right, we're gonna give
All
you
right.
Ash. I'm gonna give you a softball here. Give you a softball. Get some good momentum going for you.
Yeah.
All right, Ash. How do doodles like their toast?
Burnt.
Yay! There we go, baby.
That was like showing mercy.
All
Hey,
right.
we're just getting the momentum going. It's all good. All right, Tony, you want to hit
We're
the next
pitching
one?
overhand now.
All right, here we go. Ash, what was the doodles mint price?
I think 0.25. By your silence, I'm gonna say I'm wrong. 0.15.
0.123 ETH. All right. Now wait. So
1
that's
for 2.
So that's 2 down. So you have to get the next
So
2
you get-
right.
So you have to get the next
You
2 right.
have to get the
3
next 2
strikes
right.
and you are out. At Doodles
How can we
Trivia.
stop laughing? Come up here and answer your.
All right. Here we go.
How bad are you gonna do them on this one, Liz?
I don't think I'm gonna do them too bad.
Okay.
All right. Ash,
Yes, sir.
what musical artist performed at the Doodle Putt after party?
Since I don't know, I'm just gonna probably go with Pharrell.
That would be sick, but the answer is Jamie XX. Ash, thank you for playing. Your valiant effort. You will rise from the ashes like a phoenix. We'll see you next time. And you're welcome to stay on stage, by the way. We're not kicking you out. But Eiler, you are here for round 2. Tony, let's see.
All
Let's
right.
test this man's mettle.
All right, Eiler,
Let's
you ready?
go.
All right.
Yeah.
How much did the Doodles team buy back the mascot, Doodle 3164?
Oh, okay.
I know this one.
Was it 100 F?
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, I'd say that's his final
Yes.
answer.
Hey, let's give it up. That's right.
Oh,
we
let's
go.
go.
100 ETH,
1 for
baby.
1. All right. Okay, let's think. All right, here's another one. Okay. Name one of the recipients of an honorary doodle by Burnt Toast. To our understanding, there's 3 that exist. So only 1.
Pharrell.
Wait.
What?
No,
Well,
no.
what-
No,
what?
that's right.
Is that a
We-
4th one?
That would be number 4. Either you have
Fuck, okay,
bested
you're right.
us. You are
Let's
correct.
go.
That wasn't
Wait,
even
who
in
are the
our.
other 3?
Yeah, because
Uh,
that one's not Unchained, but what's the other
So
three?
Fat Joe,
All right.
Fifi, which is Evan's fiance, and Oh Shiny.
Oh, okay. I remember Oh Shiny.
Did you
That's
say
a
the
hard
first one's
question.
Fat Joe?
Yeah, Fat Joe, Fat Doodle. You never seen that one?
No.
It's actually pretty clean. Yeah, he has like hollow
Oh,
hair and a chain.
yeah, I remember that one too.
If you look up like burnt toast on OpenSea, I'm sure you'll find the honorary doodles collection. Okay, so you're 2 for 2. All right, I need to find a hard question.
Yeah, because he only needs one more to take the W.
Okay, here you go. How many 1-of-1 Doodles 2 wearables have been pulled?
3. Oh,
You were
wait, what is?
so
I'm gonna.
Is it
close.
2?
I'm gonna confirm. Let me confirm.
It was 4. There's been 4.
Oh, one must have come out.
That's what I'm wondering here. Let's see here. Oh, it is 4. Oh, hold up.
What are they?
I'm with you. Okay, so there's the holographic fish bag, the
Yep.
toaster head, the holographic
Yep.
paw pants, and this one I had not seen is the blue Mercury Flyers. I believe those are the
Oh,
same shoes
right.
that we've seen in one of those Canon illustrations. I actually didn't know that. So you learn something every day.
All right.
Good job, Tony.
All right, I had to throw that one at you, Eiler. But you're 2
Oh,
for 3, and you have 2 more questions left.
oh, I can keep going. All
Oh, yeah.
right.
Yes. So I don't know how much more difficult questions I have than that one. Okay, this one's a tough one, but it's only going to get better after this one. Okay.
All right.
I'm not going to do you that bad. Okay, fine. What day did Doodles mint? The
Ooh,
date.
I don't remember.
It's more difficult question. More
Oh,
difficult than you think.
it's like
Yeah, that's a tough one. I don't know either.
November 20th.
You
That's my guess.
close, but no cigar. Okay, so here
What was
it's
it?
down.
It's
It's down to
October
the last question.
17th, 2021.
Oh, okay.
All right, so now we're down to the last question. Lifts, would
last
you like to
one.
do this one? I have one already in mind.
Take it away. Take it away.
You got
Should
this,
it be
dude.
should it be an easy or a relatively difficult one?
I kind of want to see
Make
him.
it
Open
a
the,
half.
I want to see
so
him
there's
open the
suspense,
Genesis
but
box.
You're gonna get it right.
All right, what's the Doodles slogan?
The Doodle slogan.
Yeah, like what's their little
The motto.
motto?
The
You
motto.
want to call the helpline?
It is very easily searchable on Twitter.
I'm not gonna search for it.
We respect
It
that.
is in their bio. You've probably
Call
heard
me,
it
Eiler.
Wait, really?
a bunch of times before.
Tyler.
Can I call a friend?
You can call a friend. Wait, hold on. Wait, are you calling a friend?
Yeah.
Hello?
Ring,
Hello,
ring.
who's that?
Hey, Ash, I have a question.
Hey, what's up, bud?
So, you know what the Doodles motto is?
Yeah, but I'm not gonna tell you.
Oh my God.
What? But I'm on a game show.
Wait. Hold on, wait. Let's pour it in this a three-way call.
Oh,
Hey, Atan, you think you can take this one away?
Yo, what's good, boys?
What is up?
yo.
What up, dude?
Or Frosty? Okay, wait. Let's call one more
Four-way,
person.
four-way
All right,
call,
four.
four-way call.
I have so many friends. Let's go.
Who's gonna help out Eiler?
Hey, Frosty.
Color the world with joy.
Oh,
Let's
I've heard
go.
that so many times.
Wait, it wasn't 4.
You're
to get the
right.
fuck out?
Frosty is so smart.
Oh my God.
Frosty's so smart.
Okay, now Eiler.
Color
Here's
the
the
world
real.
with joy.
Here's the real question, Eiler. So
I like Ethan one's better.
So now that you have won a Genesis box, it is yours.
Oh, okay.
Do
Nice.
you want to open it now live on our YouTube stream?
Oh, yeah. Well,
All right.
I wanted to give it to Ash.
Oh, what a move.
Aw,
What a move.
what a dude.
What a dude. Well, hey, check this out. So Tony will pin our YouTube link to the top. So now I would recommend not listening to the Twitter spaces or like turning down your phone while you watch the YouTube live, or else it'll echo back and forth. But I'll get this thing pulled up and then we can open it live, and then we can send the wearables. Either if you want to send them to Ash, you can do that, but it is yours to do whatever you want with. How does that sound?
All right, sounds good.
Okay, so for those of y'all who are listening, check out our pinned tweets or look at the TGID page for the YouTube live stream, and we will get that pulled up right now. Let's see here. Oh.
Why does my computer do? Why did my computer do this thing where I plug it in and it says battery is not charging?
No.
I don't like
Maybe
when it
your
does that.
battery's not charging.
But why? But if it's plugged in, why would it not want to charge? Do you get what I'm saying?
He's not.
The power
feeling it today.
supply is too
Yo.
low.
Mellow, just because you're named after our main character doesn't make you special. You're still a milady.
It's literally my real name, so it was copied after me.
Ooh, copyrighted.
Whoa.
You should suit him. Cap.
Copyrighted.
Cap.
I can prove it.
All right, Eiler. Okay, I'm
Is
only
it on
seeing,
chain?
I'm only seeing 2 people on the YouTube stream, so I don't know who's watching.
I'm here.
Okay. And you're the only one who matters, okay? So here we go. We're going to
You're
initialize.
the only one who
Whoa.
matters. That was so cool. Unintended.
Well, he won it. Everyone else can go watch it later. It's
Yes.
fine. All right, we're going to initialize. Initializing.
Got to rip this.
Let's see. It's booting up.
I can't mute the audio for some reason.
Zooted and booted. All right, let's see here. All right.
Let's see.
Whoa. Oh, it's happening. Number 6507.
Oh.
We're cracking that bad boy open.
Let's go.
Oh, you got a
I'm
rare,
seeing it.
boy.
Looks like we got a
You
grail.
got a rare, boy.
Oh.
All right, here we go. So you got the
Alright.
beta pass. So
Are we-
let's. You want?
so-
what do we want to reveal first?
Which one, Eiler?
Reveal the left one.
Okay. That's a solid move. That I would do the same thing.
Yep.
Oh, those are
Oh.
nice.
We got like some festival
Yeah.
pants.
I don't
some
even know if I've
festival
seen those before.
shorts.
Those are sick.
Alright.
All right, we
It's
ready to see
loading.
what?
Oh, those are sick. That's like camp colors.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Those are cool.
I get the vibe.
Those are cool.
All right.
All right, here we go.
Now
Here,
let's see what the big one is.
let's see what the big boy is. And here we go. Ooh, the sky puffer. Oh,
Dude.
Sky Puffer?
yes,
damn.
sir.
Bruh.
Bro,
That was
come
cool.
up.
Nice, bro.
Come uppins. Yeah, I haven't pulled anything good from a
Damn.
Genesis box, so good for you. Good for you. We'll connect in the DMs. We'll get an evaluate link set up so that we can transfer these wearables over to you.
All
Awesome.
right. Sounds good.
GG, sir.
Congratulations.
GG.
Damn, that was a good pull.
Awesome.
Nice. I'm getting lucky with the boxes.
It's good karma from
got the-
from bringing the little butts to camp. I'm telling you.
Oh, true.
Good things happen to good people. See my little guy up here.
It's good
Nice.
stuff. Well, hey, good job winning trivia. That was awesome.
Yes.
Thanks. I couldn't have done it without my 4 Collins.
Yeah, that's right.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
Teamwork makes the dream work, and that's what it's all about. And to that point, I guess maybe the alpha is that we might have been originally planning to do more than these. So this might not be the last time you'll see this on Ink Tank.
Might have a
And
couple
there,
more
we
Jimmy
also
boxes.
have other games that we've come up with. But yeah, so I guess if we have right now on stage Frosty, I remember getting to meet you at Earl's, dude. I would love to hear about your experience at camp. And I know you even pulled up with one of your family members onboarding. I loved seeing that.
Yeah, I pulled up with my dad who doesn't know anything about like Web3 or like he knows what it is because he's a lawyer, so he knows it on like that like side of things, but yeah, it was pretty funny because he chilled with more Doodles people in the hotel than I did just by being in the lobby. Like I think he spent more time with Burnt Toast like 3 days like in the lobby than I did the whole trip, which was funny, but it was cool and he liked it. And seeing like the pictures afterwards of like some of the kids and stuff like you guys were talking earlier was so cool. Like they didn't know what was going on, but they just knew it was like Doodles was awesome and it was the vibe. I'm definitely happy I got the vinyls and got to meet some people.
Dude, hell yeah.
Totally.
Hell yeah.
The first thing my dad said back at the hotel was like, "How do I buy a doodle?"
Ooh.
Let's go.
Onboarding lawyers.
That's what's up.
Dad lawyers.
Big brains, big brains.
Frosty, was it your dad that people were saying was networking more than you?
Yeah, he was.
I saw that tweet. It's like, I didn't meet you, but I met your dad. I was like,
He was chilling with John a lot, Schneck. And then
Yeah.
it was just funny
dude,
because
I want to
woke up.
chill with John too. He's been posting some banger cocktails, and I was like, bro, we gotta like make some rainbow cocktails together, just like doodle cocktails or whatever.
Yeah, he was the man. He was so nice. He was funny too when he came in. The food, bro. You know how everyone was scavenging the food fast. Like,
Yes.
he's the one who made sure people started
Hyenas.
bringing it out.
Mhm.
Bro, we were like cretins, just like swarming
Dude,
it.
classic dad move, making sure the food flow keeps coming. We
Like
love
we're
that.
gonna reroute this.
The treasurer, you know, he pulled up.
Keep the lobster
Mhm.
tail rolling. That's awesome. That's
But
awesome.
it was
Yo, Charles shared the Fat Joe, by the way. I pinned it at
Fat
the top.
Doodle.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, he's actually wearing it as his PFP. I had no idea.
Still rocking it.
Man.
Lean back. You know?
wait, what? He's still rocking it?
Dude,
That's
don't fade Fat Joe.
I had no idea he's into NFTs.
I won't fade Fat Joe. I just fade fat people usually, but not Fat Joe.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, I don't think fat people should have rights.
This space is taking a turn for the
That got a
worse.
little. That got a little.
That's
I knew we should. I knew we
Oh,
shouldn't have
wow.
brought. I knew we shouldn't have brought. So funny, jeez. But no, Frosty, it's good to hear that you had a great time, and it was a pleasure meeting you and your dad as well. So that was awesome seeing y'all in the canteen at camp. That was super cool.
Yeah, the best part I think was just waking up at like 9 a.m. to my dad being like, "Yo, I'm with Burnt Toast. Come down here. Like, what are you doing?"
Pull up.
I was like, "What?" And I guess he said Burnt Toast was hungover. It was this, which is pretty funny.
From turnt
Yeah,
to burnt.
Yeah. Turnt toast.
Sunny side burnt toast. Oh my gosh. Jeez. Okay, so let's see. We've ripped a Genesis box live on Spaces, live on stream. We've talked about camp. We have a incubator doodle sesh tomorrow at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. I'm sure it's whatever your local time is on
8
Twitter.
8 a.m. PST.
8 a.m. PST. There we go. Got that conversion. But Tony, I know we've ran a little bit over our typical hour and a half. So should we start winding things down for tonight?
Yeah, let me just cue up some music. We do really appreciate everybody for coming through and whatnot. And I don't know. I think there was something in the water, but I think there was definitely something special in the air going around in Chicago. I think we all had a good time. Just excited for what the team did. I mean, I gotta just give a huge shout out to Burnt Toast One for all of the artwork and all the folks at Golden Wolf, who I know were definitely super deep into the animations. Like there was a lot of artwork that was in there, along with just designing all the sets and stuff. But Mackenzie Keast, Doodle's head of experience. Wow.
Goated.
Wow. And the engineering team like Squinch and Jay and French Loaf, they said that they were like in there like 16 hours a day. Dude, going crazy.
They're kind of, what is it, like first in, last out? Like they rolled into
they're like the Marines.
They rolled into the holders preview, just the three of them squatted up, and you could just tell like they've been in the shit. They've seen some shit. It was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I just got to say, like it was definitely a team effort. I know that they have been working tirelessly on it, and I'm glad that it all came together. It sounds like people. I know like Cryer and them got to go back with their kids once it opened up. And all I've heard is really positive things. So will be really interesting to hear what we hear on Doodle Sesh tomorrow.
Yeah, well,
too.
and what I'll say too is it's so interesting is typically we're having these kind of conversations, debriefing, whatever NFT event just happened, and like, and yeah, it's over now. And it's weird because it's like, oh, it's actually kind of just getting started, which is kind of a strange phenomenon. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we just got the preview and now it's just open. So it's just gonna be cool to see where this goes.
Absolutely. And last but very not least, before I sign up with music, I just want to wish Bianca Pistorielli, Doodle's previous head of brand marketing, a absolutely stellar time on her her next venture. It was definitely very bittersweet to hear that her last day was yesterday. I mean, Lifts, what she did for us here at TGID, I mean, she really brought us into the fold. Like we got under those NDAs and like we've been really keyed into what's been going on for quite some time now. And I think that was really special. She trusted us with that and put us on. And I'm really glad that I got to, put a face of the PFP this past week. And I mean, just huge shout out to Bianca. I mean, she set them up. We've seen all those decks, and I'm sure like they have plans for tons of time that they just have to execute on right now.
Absolutely.
So big shout out to Bianca.
Absolutely.
You are the GOAT.
100% cosign.
So much love. So you know what? Kanye, take it away. This was Ink Tank, episode 4, Camp Reunion. We'll see you guys here, same time, same place next Monday.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.